Lizzie Harrison for Card Player TV, and today I'm here with Mike Rocco. He won the $1,500 buy-in stud event at the World Series. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
So you took the chip lead into the final table, and you were able to carry that into a win.
No, I had the chip lead going into the final table, but when it got heads up, he had a 2-to-1 chip lead on me.
Oh, did he?
He had about 800,000. I had about 400,000.
So how did you make that up and come out on top?
Well, you know, El Barbieri is a very good tournament player and everything.
He is.
He's very experienced and everything. So I actually had to adjust to his play and everything. So I basically slowed everything down. I went at a real slow pace. I looked at my cards slow. I tried to make the pots small from the beginning and everything.
Okay.
I didn't want to make no big pots. So I trapped him in a few hands. One hand, I had pocket aces.
All right.
And he raised it up, and I just called. And on 5th Street, I caught an ace.
Oh.
And I checked. I checked it. He bet it. I called. Now on 6th Street, I check it again. He bet it right out because he's a pretty aggressive player and everything. And I raised him on 6th Street, and I ended up getting paid off on the hand. And there was another hand where I had pocket queens, and I slow played it, and I caught a queen right on the turn. And I let him do all the bet and everything. And I waited to 6th Street to pop him. I figured if I pop him on 5th Street, he might get rid of the hand, but with one card to go and everything, most likely he's going to take off another card. So I had him pretty trapped and everything. But I kept the pots small and everything from the beginning. I didn't want to get big pots or anything because he had a good chip lead on me and everything. And so, you know, I had a different style to play him.
And it worked.
And it worked, yeah.
So I know you're primarily a cash game player. Do you
Yes.
usually play stud?
Stud. You usually play stud, yeah.
So what prompted you to come out to play this event?
Well, I live here in town and everything, and I usually have backers. You know, Ted Force is one of my backers, and Jeff Losandro and Chad Brown, and you know, played for Johnny Chan in the Larry Flynn game and Ted Force.
Take some of the stress off.
Yeah, yeah. And I ran into Jeff Losandro in the hallway and everything, and I asked him if he wanted to do something with me.
And he said,
yeah, and it worked out good and everything. It worked out good for both of us.
Well, I saw an interview you did last night where you said you'd been recently going through some rough times. What was going on?
Well, you know, I had temporary custody of my son for a year and a half and everything.
Oh, that's fine.
And I moved back to Cleveland, so, you know, it was a blast having him. He's back with his mom. They're here in town. And, you know, we're the best of friends. And
things are starting to go your way.
Listen, I won this bracelet for my little boy because it opens up a lot of doors.
Oh, absolutely.
And everything. So, you know, I mean, I just kept on thinking of my son. And it got me through it, yeah. And praise the Lord and everything, so.
So why do you prefer stud over Hold'em or any other game?
Well, I play a little bit of Hold'em and everything, but I've been playing poker since 1984. I used to play at Caesar's Palace in the stud game.
25 years ago.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
24 years ago.
Yeah,
Close.
we used to play 1530 stud, and I knew a lot of the players, and a lot of real good players that I played with back then and everything, and I learned a lot from playing with good players. And so that was the game back then. Everybody played stud, you know what I mean? And so I just grew up with it.
It's the first game I played.
Yeah, yeah.
So whose stud game do you really respect? Who do you think are some of the best stud players?
Oh, there's a lot of good stud players and everything. I mean,
any standouts?
Yeah, you know, Ted Force is a very good player, stud player. Eric Drake's a great stud player. You know, you don't really hear too much about Eric Drake. You know, I mean, he's behind the scenes.
I've heard his name mentioned a few times.
Yeah, very good stud player and everything. And but there's quite a few of them. I mean, everybody has their own way of playing and everything. But
well, what makes them great stud players? What skills are really important?
Well, for example, like Ted Force, what makes him a great player and everything is he's a good reader. You know what I mean? He could play a bad hand, and I'll play the guy because he actually knows what the guy has. He's just really unbelievable what a reader he is. And so, you know, if you could read, it's like Daniel playing Hold'em and everything. He's a great reader. You know, and if you could read your opponent's cards, it doesn't matter what you have, you could outplay them. And that's the basic way of playing stud or any game that you play.
Well, what types of mistakes did you spot players making in this tournament? Maybe early
a lot of players play too many hands, I noticed. You know, I had a Russian guy in my game, nice guy and everything, but, you know, he was playing a lot of hands and just a lot of not good hands and everything. You know,
you need to tighten up your starting
you got to tighten up. But you see that in a lot of tournaments because a lot of players want to get some chips and everything. But, you know, that play only lasts so long. You know, I mean, you're going to only get lucky so long when you play.
It's true.
When you want to gamble. So I played pretty tough and everything. I tell you the truth, I like the way I played this tournament.
You must.
Oh, I really do.
And it was a really long heads-up battle. I mean, you said you played small ball poker, but it took 3 hours. How did you manage to stay focused and stay on your A game?
Looking at that bracelet, thinking of my son, and I had so many people behind me rooting for me. I had a lot of my friends and everything, rooting for me and everything. And 100 text messages.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you
so much for coming up to talk to me.
Thank you.
Lizzie Harrison with Mike Rocco for Card Player TV.